does not have the armor upgrade though, so they will be taking damage from Marines if the Marines actually attack them. And down she goes. This Altars is so much of a pain. But I have taken out another expansion and moving on to yet another one. These are two pretty good expansions to be taken out. They had a lot of drones at them. And they were his two freshest bases. So that's a lot of drone kills and shutting down two fresh bases. It helps a lot. However, at the same time, he is coming to attack this expansion. And yes, taking it down, man. That's a lot of Altars on the field now. And moving up to take the top right. Yeah, I don't even have a fortress here. Not that would have mattered. And okay, interesting. Not sure what happened there. Don't even lift off. I guess I'm too busy taking out more of his bases. Looks like he took out the natural at the top left position. Oop. Even got to intercept one of these Ultralists. And now moving into his final main base. Say the one that has the lair with a bunch of Marines and a bunch of Ravens. These Ultralists are coming back. There goes all my Marines. And again, auto turrets versus Ultralisks. Not even a close matchup. You can barely dent those Altars. It is nice though he doesn't have the armor upgrade. The armor upgrade makes them even more devastating. Because both Marines and auto turrets have a very low damage per attack, which means armor has a massive effect versus them. And it looks like Zerg does not have a whole lot of production facilities. However, he does have 3,000 minerals stored up. Myself, well, I got 1,000 now, but for a while I was completely out of minerals. I had no income and no minerals, which was insane to me. I'm so used to being like so filthy rich in minerals doing this strategy, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what? I can't even make a Marine? What's going on here? So abusing the high ground here. So put auto turrets on the low ground to hit the hatchery, then auto turrets on the high ground to protect the ones on the low ground. And now being smart enough to actually focus fire the Ultralisks. And that's going to be that. Quit from Stand Ablaze. Although I was pretty broke, and he did have some hatcheries going up. And he still had the Ultralisk cavern, so I wouldn't say he was 100% out of it. I did know these bases existed. However, would I be able to shut them all down with his this many Altars out in the field? That'd be a good question. At the same time, all I had was two bases that were completely undefended. And even if I turn these into fortresses, the fortress does not hold up well versus the Ultralisk battle. So may have been a little early on the quit, but at the same time, he was in trouble because, you know, auto turrets will slowly pick away at the Ultralisks. Very slowly, but it does happen, and I had a good number of Ravens still left out on the field. I had 17 of them, so I take it back. Maybe that wasn't a preemptive quit. But I think had he known that I just had two undefended expansions, he may have stuck around and tried to win the game, especially since he had a good stockpile of minerals left over. Anyways, that is that, and I assume the pick and pick worked, because you wouldn't be watching this if it didn't, so hopefully that's an interesting feature. You can let me know what you guys think of it, and thank you everyone.
If the guns are churning, your ass is burning! If the guns are blazing, your ass is a-raising! I don't know, what do you want from me?
For today's thumbs up fact of the day, I'm going to talk about maybe one of the most important, not one of the most important upgrades, but one of the most important dynamics of an upgrade, and that is Zergling versus Zealot battle. So you can see Zealot does 2 attacks of 8 damage. So it's basically 16 damage per attack. and Zerglings have 35 hit points. That means after 2 attacks, it's done 32 damage, and his third attack will just do the final 3 hit points worth of damage. So it means it actually takes 3 attack sequences from a Zealot to kill a Zergling. So we can watch this here. 1, 2, 3. And the third one is very, very inefficient. So if we have a battle here of, say, 15 Zerglings versus 4 Zealots, we can see how this turns out. So there you have it. The Zerglings win with 5 left over. Obviously that was a micro-less battle. We're not going to be talking about micro in the context of this. However, if we add an attack upgrade to the Zealots, like so, now we can see the Zealots are doing 9 damage per attack. So that means 18 damage per flurry. So that means after 2 flurries, it's doing 36 damage, which is enough to kill a Zergling. So it's actually increasing the kill time from 3 attacks down to 2. And we can see that right here. 1, 2. So that can make a gigantic difference. Now we're going to have another battle, same dynamic. We're going to have 15 Zerglings versus 4 Zealots, but this time with the +1 on the Zealots. And you can see that's a massacre with 3 Zealots left over and barely even lost any shields on the 3 of them. So you can see how this one particular upgrade makes such a giant difference when we're talking about Zealots versus Zerglings. And then you can extend on that by going once again, well, if he's going +1 on his Zealots, then I can just get +1 Carapace on my Zerglings. So now these Zerglings will have +1 armor. So these attacks of 9 each are back to being attacks of 8 each. So it's going to take, once again, 3 attacks to kill this this Zergling. So it's going to be just like the first battle. So once again, we're going to go 4 versus 15, and you should see the same result we saw the first time, as it's going to take the exact same 3 attacks to kill these Zerglings. And there you have it, 4 Zerglings left over this time. So just one of those really important upgrades that makes either, with the +1, the Zealots' 2 attacks are ridiculously efficient versus the Zergling, as they barely overkill it. Like they only overkill it by 1 hit point. Or without the upgrades, or with equal upgrades, the Zealots' attacks are very inefficient, where the 3rd attack is actually extreme overkill, doing 12 more hit points than it actually has to. So just something to keep in mind if you're in any army compositions that have Zerglings versus Zealots involved. Just take note of your opponent's upgrades. If you see +1 on the Zealots, get +1 Carapace on your Zerglings, and vice versa. Being 1 ahead of the Zealots can make a gigantic difference, as you've seen in these battles. So with that, we'll call it the end of this thumbs up back to the day. Thanks everyone, and goodbye.